Hello, I'm Judy, and welcome to Judy's Crafts and Stuff. It's been a while since I've been here, and I've been kind of busy. Well, not really, but anyway, I keep waiting for the perfect day, the perfect time, the perfect setting to do YouTube videos, and that never happens, so I just decided to just jump in and do it. And whatever it is, it is what they say, how they say, what is, or something like that. So, first of all, I'd like to tell you all about my cataract surgery experience. So if this is something you're not interested in, feel free to just, click off and come back another time. Because my next video will be about crochet and knit. So, last year I decided it was time to take care of my cataract since COVID was sort of calmed down and we had vaccinations and all that. So I went to a doctor about 30 miles from me, 25, 30 miles from me in Winchester, Virginia. And he went on to explain to me that each eye would require at least 3 visits to his office. And 2 of those for each eye would require a driver. I decided that would not work for me, that I would have to find a doctor who could do surgery closer to my home. So I went about getting a referral, and I finally had a referral for November. But I went into that office one day to hand deliver the referral that was having difficulty getting there by fax, and saw a big sign on her wall that said she did not accept my insurance. So I canceled that appointment, and during open season changed my insurance, and then proceeded to get another referral and had an appointment this year in February. And she explained to me that each eye would require a driver just for the day of surgery and possibly for the day after to come to her office for my one-day post-op visit. In the meantime, I met one of the people in her office while I was having an ultrasound to measure my eye in April. And I had been looking for a driver and not able to find one. I had advertised, I had talked to everybody I knew, asking for, do you know a friend? Do you know somebody that could drive me the 8 miles down the road and pick me up and bring me home that day, for which I would pay up to $100 a day. But nobody wanted to do it. So this person in her office agreed to be my driver. And I said, well, that is wonderful, and I'll pay you. And she said, oh, no, just pay it forward, and blah, blah, blah. So that was in April. The day came for the surgery. The first surgery was going to be May the 10th. I started trying to reach her by phone on the 3rd of May, and she wasn't returning my calls. Then I was going to a library for a meeting for crocheters and knitters on the 5th of May. And I mentioned my problem that day, and a woman raised her hand and said, I have a car service. I said, great. And so that was the 5th of May. My first surgery was the 10th, and she agreed to be my driver. And I agreed to pay her. She says, I charge $1 a mile. I says, I'll pay you more than that because you are worth the extra pay. So the day came, and I had to be there at 7 in the morning, and it worked great. And her mother had an appointment that afternoon, but I was out of there quickly. When I went in for the surgery, they were able to start my IV quickly, and everything went smooth. And I had the IV anesthesia and everything like that. So the next day I went to the doctor's office for my post-op visit. I had been told by the person who was working for the doctor when she was going to drive me that I could remove the eye mask, or the eye shield, that morning and drive myself. So this is what I did. And it went great. Then 2 weeks later, I'm going to have the second surgery. Oh, following the surgery, you have lots and lots of eye drops. Like some are 4 times a day, some are 2 times a day, that kind of stuff. And it was fine. Prior to surgery, I had to go 44 miles round trip to my primary doctor to get a pre-op physical, which consisted of them taking my blood pressure, my weight, and listening to my heart through my clothes. It was a total waste of time, but anyway, I did it. And it had to be exactly 7 to 10 days before surgery. So I had scheduled that in February, and it was fine. It's kind of a hassle, but anyway, this is so different than it was in the 1970s when patients had to spend at least one night in the hospital with sandbags on their heads and not able to move even to get up to go to the bathroom. So anyway, I had the second surgery was coming, and my driver Sarah had something to do that evening at 5:30. But I thought, oh well, the first surgery was in the morning, second surgery will be in the morning, sure. They call you up the day before surgery to let you know what time you have to be at the hospital, and I was told 3:30. I went, oh boy, Sarah has something to do that night at 5:30. So they said, oh, we didn't know, and blah, blah, blah. So I called Sarah, and she says, well, she'd make it do, or she'd have her husband help, or we'd figure out something. But then about 11 o'clock on the day of surgery, I was phoned by the hospital saying, well, we're running a little ahead of schedule. Could you actually be here between 12:30 and 1? So I called up Sarah, and we said, oh, God has intervened and answered our prayers, and yes, we will do that. And hopefully it'll go just as smoothly as the first time. So Sarah got me there, and then they proceeded to try to start my IV. After sticking 10 times, I said, enough. And because you don't really need IV sedation for pain in the eye, it's really just for sedation purposes. And the doctor agreed we would go ahead without the IV, which we did. And I must say the second surgery was more colorful. I could see more colors. I could hear more things. I had thought I wasn't all that sedated for the first one, but I must have been, because I didn't hear this machine in the background saying, disco, polish, and all kinds of interesting things. And I didn't see all the multicolors. It was like psychedelic. And the hospital people were wonderful. The surgical people, they played music at my request, and I requested Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata for this one. So anyway, I was ready to leave at 5 o'clock, and Sarah was in the parking lot waiting already and got me home. The next day, I got up, removed the eye shield, and vision was a little blurry. So I proceeded to drive myself to the doctor's office, and lo and behold, I have corneal swelling. The doctor gave me some eye drops and told me to wait in the waiting room, and after about an hour, checked me again and said the swelling had gone down. The pressure in my eye was up. So I was given more eye drops to take through the week and come back the next week, which I did. And every one of my eye surgeries did require a visit the next day and then a week later. So this was standard. So I went back a week later, and the corneal swelling had gone down, the pressure had gone down, and things were looking up. But I proceeded to have more appointments like every week to make sure that the swelling was down, that the pressure was down, and so forth. But about week 4, I suddenly started seeing dirty screens, like the TV screen looked dirty. The letters were not precise or sharp. Everything looked like it had dirt thrown on it. Next time I went back to the doctor's office, she says, okay, now you have retinal swelling, also referred to as macular edema. And so she proceeded to put me on eye drops, which are an NSAID, similar to Motrin, but they're called ketorolac. And I had to take them 4 times a day. And that was around the 16th of June, or maybe that was like the 7th of June. And they had to schedule me for a ultrasound at their office in Winchester, which is about 25 miles from my house, 50 miles a round trip, and which I had on the 16th of June, which showed some improvement, but come back again on the 7th of July. So I was back there on the 7th of July, and the doctor says everything has improved from 500 to 300. I guess that, I'm not sure what the measurement is, whether it's millimeters, centimeters, or, whatever. Not centimeters, many millimeters. I'm not sure what the measurement is, but she says it went from 500 to 300, so I believe that's a 40% improvement. Generally, I really can see pretty well with both eyes. Right eye is a little more blurry. Left eye is a little more sharp. I'm continuing the 4 times a day eye drops. I finished this other regimen of eye drops that I had, which was 3 different ones for like 2 weeks after surgery. It hasn't been as easy and simple as all my friends said. And one very interesting thing, I do have to wear reading glasses because I chose a monocular lens. I did not choose trifocal or bifocal lenses. I at one point had bifocal eyeglasses and could not deal with it. So I said I want just the distance lenses, the lenses that help me to see well in the distance, realizing I need reading glasses. But I had continued using my 5X reading glasses and was wondering why everything that I was reading still looked very blurry. The interesting thing is, reduce the magnification of the reading glasses and I can see much more clearer. It's kind of counterintuitive. You would think that the stronger they are, the better you would be able to see, but it doesn't work that way. I found that 1.75 was my perfect strength, and I can even see my computer screen, which was about 18 inches in front of me, much more clearer than I could with the 5X reading glasses. And I will need for life glasses to see intermediate and close up. It's doing great. And I continue to crochet and knit and sew and enjoy things like that. One thing the doctor told me after surgery was no housework for a month. And I thought she was just really joking, but she was serious. And no gardening. So if I was to do this over again, well, I'm not going to do it over again, but my advice to anyone out there who's going to have cataract surgery is if you have a certain time of the year when you're more active, or you need to, you like to do gardening, or, things like that, be sure to schedule your cataract surgery at another season of the year. In other words, don't have your cataract surgery in spring or summer if you're going to be starting a garden. I had a few seedlings ready to go. I stuck them in the ground and just watered them, and that's it. And I did continue to mow my yard, but I have a very lightweight 8-pound battery-operated lawnmower, and my son helps, and we have two of them, 2 lawnmowers, and we work together. And the other thing was taking a shower, washing my hair. It would have been a great time to just shave my head or cut my hair real short. Keeping my eyes shut in the shower was quite a job. I did buy some underwater goggles, but I forgot. They have a strap that goes across the back of the head. You can't wash your hair with them on. Also, they fog up under warm water. I guess they're great for swimming in the ocean when it's, or in the pool when it's the water is cool, but not when the water is hot. So that didn't work out too well. But it was okay. I got through it. And as far as the housework, well, I took her advice. I didn't do too much housework for a month, but, I did vacuum and dust. No heavy lifting. No heavy lifting. She said 35 pounds. There's videos on YouTube that say do not lift heavier than 10 or 20 pounds. And no bending over, such as to do things like yoga, or something where your head's going to be dangling. It's okay to bend over to tie your shoes or pick something up off the floor. Anyway, that's been my cataract surgery experience so far. I'm still dealing with the retinal swelling, macular edema. I'll go back to my doctor in 6 more weeks to check it out, and we'll see. I'll keep taking the eye drops 4 times a day, and that's it. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad I did it. Overall, my vision is so much better, despite all the little issues along the way. But just want you to know that it doesn't always run smooth for everybody. I hear all my friends, oh, you'll love it. It's great, simple, no problem. Well, maybe for some people, not for me. And that's it. Just wanted to let y'all know. And my next video will be about yarn. Y'all take care.